Hi, everyone. This is Michael Condon, and this is the Holocron House on the TooMedToo Star Wars Network. And right now, for the series of videos we're doing, this is going to be session 3. I am going through the visual dictionary of The Rise of Skywalker. And we are going to start off on, we've gotten on the previous two. We are now all the way up to page 18. So I'll bring in someone that everyone that's tuning into this should probably know. We have Rural Farm Boy.
Evening, friends.
How are you doing today, Anthony?
Now that we get to sit down and talk some Star Wars after not great work day, yeah, let's talk some Star Wars. Let's get into this visual dictionary. I'll do Miss Christina. She's in the chat room.
Oh, Christina's here.
She is.
Well, since I have you on the screen and I have Christina here, I might as well go ahead and let everyone know that session number 3 of the Rise of Skywalker Visual Dictionary Holocron House is brought to you by my Patreons, Rural Farm Boy, Christina, Chris King, Mr. Rez, and Kylo Customs. If you would like to help support the YouTube channel network and the podcast, feel free to go to Patreon TooMedToo and donate whatever you want. $1, $5, $50, and that just goes to helping bring you better content, more content, better equipment, and all those good things. So in the chat, we got a couple people in here saying hello.
Yes, we do.
We have Christina and we have Charles. So welcome, welcome, welcome.
Conversations. Yeah,
We've
buddy.
got a few people in here that I think might be a little bit quiet. Oh, and today I hit 700 subscribers.
Really?
I did. So that is wonderful.
Good.
That's good. I am now 300 away from that 1,000 that I need. And I'm hoping if everything goes the way I want it to, I will be hitting that. If I can do 100 a month, which is roughly 3 a day. I was doing about 5 a day, but I've dropped down now to 2 a day. I think I've gone through that little group of people, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, so 700. I'm in the 700 club well over the 700 club on Facebook, and I hit the 700 club last week on Twitter, and I just hit 700 on YouTube. So we're along the way, and we'll see. So, anyways, let's not talk about me anymore, unless we want to talk about who's going to donate to my Patreon and bring you better content and whatnot. But I don't know. I have my book here.
I got my book right here.
I hope everybody else has their book. And if they don't worry, because the TooMedToo Star Wars Network has you covered. Because we left off on we finished page 17 and left off on 18, or starting 18, and here we go with page 18, ready to go.
We're going to Takadana.
So now let me get to my page 18. All right, so we're in the middle of, I believe, chapter 1, or is that what they were calling it, chapter 1?
In the book, it is called
Chapter 1, the story so far. We went over the First Order and the Resistance.
Yep.
And now we have... Oh, yep, we did Rey already. And we are on Takodana.
Takodana. Yep.
Okay. So we'll start off with a fact file. Han must first shake the pursuit of rival gangsters from Kanja Club and the Guavian death gang before leaving with the Falcon. Han instantly relates to Rey, an impoverished orphan with no family name who is gifted with mechanical and pilot abilities. So that goes to similar to Han growing up. We're not actually sure in canon now what happened with his father, but we know from the Solo movie that he worked on the Corellian freighters, and Han was kind of left to fend for himself. I'm not sure. We don't really have in canon what age, but that's how they kind of they're similar in that way, and that's what brought a lot of people to speculating that Han was her father because of the way they interacted with each other. But we obviously know that that is not true, and maybe we'll find out who her father is later on. And I'm on the wrong fucking page.
18.
There you go.
18.
All right.
Yeah.
So, all right, that was the fact file up there, and the way they have it done for the sizing. I don't think I can. Let me just double check and see if I can get. Oh no! Oh, we've gone too far. It's over now. Let me see if I can change the sizing really quick. I know we played around with it before. Yeah, it makes it we can't read the whole page.
No, that's a combination of page 18 and 19 together.
Yeah, so that's where it's going to be. I know Mr. Rez has bad eyesight because he's old, getting old. So that's.
I'll let you all know when you're old. Okay.
All right. So we have on Takudana. Rey and Finn escape from Jakku aboard the Millennium Falcon is a short trip, thanks to sensors long attuned to listen for the Falcon's telemetric cry. The wanted starship is scooped aboard the Arvana, an immense freighter piloted by Han Solo and Chewbacca, who have been scouring the space lanes to find their beloved Falcon. Rey and Finn, assuming Solo to have resistance contacts, inform him that BB-8 carries a map to Luke Skywalker. Solo reels from his past catching up with him, but takes the Falcon to Takadana in the hope of handling the youngsters and their data. Handing the youngsters to their data to Maz Kanata, who will surely pass them along to his estranged wife, Leia Organa. And we go down to the picture below, and we have Takadana is interrupted by the First Order's destruction of the Hosnian system and the arrival of Kylo Ren following a tip-off from a spy that BB-8 presents at Maz Kanata's castle. Ren lands on an invasion army. Ren lands on oh my god, I can't read today, Anthony. Ren lands an invasion army to capture his quarry. Well, that's what happens when you work all day and you come home and you decide to read. And I don't know what's going on with these glasses, but
I got you. I can pick you up.
No, I'm good. I'll finish off this side. Okay. Then we're seeing Finn holding the lightsaber, and as the First Order invaders spill over the rubble of Maz's castle, Finn ignites the Skywalker lightsaber, recalling his combat training with melee weapons. Finn has an instinctive feel for the Jedi weapon and defends himself against a riot control stormtrooper. So this was one of the pictures that we first saw, and we now have the assholes that started flipping out because now we have a black Jedi, and Finn was going to be the Jedi and the main person, but we had Mace Windu before him, so we're not even going to talk about those idiots. But yeah, that was one of the things that people thought Finn was going to be the Jedi in the story when it was starting off.
So here's a minor momentary trivia question. Who was the First Order stormtrooper that Finn faced off with that riot time? Can you name him?
I most certainly cannot.
Oh, this is in honor of Force Toast Girls. That was FN 2199. And we in the fandom, before we knew who he was, courtesy of the Before the Awakening stories was from Journey to Force Awakens stories. This was Finn's story, how he was told that how he learned to use melee weapons in that story. And in fandom, before we knew he was FN2199, he was called TR8R or Traitor. FN Traitor.
Okay.
Recall. Yeah.
All right. I don't think I've read that book. That's one of the books I probably I need to put on my list, because I know we talked a couple weeks ago about the books on my list.
Yes, take a look at that. There's 3 good stories in there. One concerning Rey, one concerning Finn, and one concerning Poe. Really good stories.
Yeah, I know I have the on my list. I think Poe, and I don't know if I did the Rey one or not, but I'll have to check my Audible, because I still have, I think, 5 credits on my Audible. I have 3 or 4 books on there. I'm going to need to cut back on a few podcasts and concentrate more on a few books to get through a couple of them. So any of my podcast friends that are out there, if my list seems a little bit light, it's nothing against you guys. It's just I need to do some books.
Need some catching up. I hear what you're saying.
I'm gonna finish off this page with the young people, and then I'll let Earl Farmboy take over with Maz Kanata on the other page.
Alrighty.
So we have a picture of Rey. That's her on when they went up to the Aravana ship. We have in a dank cellar storeroom. Oh no, I'm sorry. That's
the dank flashback.
Yeah, in a dank cellar storeroom of Maz Kanata's castle, Rey comes in contact with Anakin Skywalker's old lightsaber and is instantly hit by visions from the Force. The lightsaber acts as a vergence, granting her insights into past events.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Skywalker lightsaber, Maz promises that someday tell the story of how she acquired it. We're still waiting on that. So, some more Star Wars stories coming from the saga. It's not over yet.
Nope. When it's time, we'll be told.
All right. And then we have a picture of Kylo Ren and Rey before he starts his abusive relationship with her. We have first encounter with darkness. Distraught at the visions the Force has shown her, including a flashback to her abandonment on Jakku, Rey flees into the forest. She feels too small and unimportant to be connected to the glimpse of power she has seen. But Kylo Ren specifically seeks her out as he at the behest of his master, for her awakening in the Force is a parent of something much bigger. Kylo uses his Force ability to freeze her in her tracks. He knocks her unconscious, carries her back to his shuttle, and returns with her to his flagship, the Finalizer. Since she has seen the map to Skywalker, Kylo is confident he can extract it from her mind. So, I mean, not trying to get into a debate here, but he freezes her and knocks her unconscious. Not the good start of a relationship like some people want or would like. But I mean, I'm just going by the visual dictionary, which is canon. That's the first thing they talk about, how their relationship starts. You know, I don't think many people would be happy if my relationship started with me, basically freezing someone or drugging them and knocking them out. But, we'll see what happens with their relationship later on, how that goes. And, we have, I already said Mr. Rez is here. Kylo Customs showed up.
Yes, he is.
Kylo posted a picture of a book that he purchased the other day and asked myself and Royal Farboy if we had seen it or heard of the book. And I believe both of us responded with a picture of us having the book. So it's a good book that he picked up. I'm just waiting for the batteries to die out, and then we're kind of screwed on.
So yours are still living. Yeah, mine doesn't give out on that little part that answers the trivia questions. So mine's done.
Well, we'll have to see about getting you some batteries to fix that.
I already got them. I just got to go put them in.
All right. So
Oh,
now we're on page 19.
alrighty. And the first thing that I'm taking and seeing is, oh, that's that photograph of Han and Finn and Rey and Maz Kanata having that conversation, sitting down that table in the castle. In the castle tavern, Maz Kanata takes pointed interest in both Rey and Finn. She's delved into the Force lore and knows something of the significance of a pair in the Force. Wondering if it may be these two. In Finn's eyes, she sees fear, the compulsion to run from danger and duty. Finn balks at this assessment. And then we see Maz Kanata. For more than 1,000 years, Maz has witnessed the rise and the fall of civilizations and the changing of balance in the light and the dark of the Force. Though wise beyond measure, Maz nonetheless lives a life of pleasure and fleeting comforts, for no matter how long a lifespan fortune may grant you, she reasons, it'll always be too short. Maz is mostly known as a pirate legend, a sympathetic ear, and a source of refuge and resources for the law-bending galactic fringe. She's helped out Han and Chewbacca many times and forged a solid friendship with Leia Organa. Maz has been the extended Skywalker family. Weather profound tragedies, but has faith that light will prevail. Persevere. And we also have a timeline.
We do.
And yes, this is according to the new timeline, before Starkiller and after, and 1,007 years before Starkiller incident. Maz Kanata is born. Then we speed it up to 30 years before Starkiller incident. On Ord Mantell, Maz helps Leia Organa acquire the UB armor for her boost disguise. We was told that story in Forces of Destiny, as I recall. And you can take a look at that because Star Wars YouTube has it up on their channel.
And that's also the same armor that they have in Solo, the Star Wars story. Or no, I'm sorry. Lando uses the same armor again.
There it is.
Okay, see, there. All these stories kind of fit so well together. You know, sometimes it takes a couple seconds for the synapses to fire up properly.
Because there's a lot going on here. All right.
Yep.
Then we go to 29 years before Starkiller incident. Han Solo meets an Imperial defector at Maz's castle to get information that will help in the liberation of Kashyyyk. That right there is from, I'm going to say, the cutscenes or the story mode of Battlefront 2. When we see Han on Takodana looking for that information, that's where that comes from. And then we go forwards more to 0 before Starkiller. Rey, Finn, and Han Solo come to Maz on Takodana seeking help. Yep, now we're in Force Awakens. And also 0, after Starkiller incident. Here we go. Maz's castle is destroyed by the First Order. Yep, now we're in TFA time. And one more, 0, after Starkiller incident. While distracted by a labor dispute, Maz helpfully offers the Resistance a contact on Canto Bight, the Master Codebreaker. Now we're in Last Jedi story.
Yep.
And the last one is 1 year after Starkiller incident. Now we're coming up to Rise of Skywalker. Maz serves as an advisor to Leia Organa at the Resistance base on Agent Class. There we go.
So we have in Maz's 1,008 years, the last year is dealing with the final trilogy.
Yep.
So I think we might get some Maz stories from that missing 977 years that we don't know anything about her. That would be interesting.
That's a lot of stories yet to be told.
There's, just a little bit something. But with that picture that we have on top, if you think about the movies, the trilogy's over, or that part of the movies are over, and you think about when she gets on the table and she looks into Finn's eyes,
yeah,
she's attuned with the Force, so
yes,
we're led to believe that Finn is Force sensitive, and she knows that right there at the table.
And she keeps it to herself. We learn it later, but she knew things that we didn't.
Just along with the things of Rey, who are you? Rey who? All the things that Rey has asked, or the different ways she's asked about who she is. And we find out that Maz obviously knows. She might not know, she might not have been told, but she knows because she feels it through the Force that who she is. And when Luke first meets her and figures out who she is, because he's not using the Force to figure it out, but he's saying, who are you? Why are you here? But why you? That's, I don't think verbatim, but that's pretty much, why did they pick you to come here out of all the people that could have come here? And, maybe he did know then. Maybe it wasn't until he turned the Force back on that we have it, that he knew. But all these things we'll probably find out. I was hoping we now know that we're not going to get any deleted scenes in the DVD that's coming out this month, or I'll be buying it on digital so I can, wherever I go. So when I'm at Celebration, if we decide to put it on, I can put it on there, or, whatever it happens to be. But yeah, so it's like a lot of these things that we obviously know they didn't write all three stories of the trilogy together. And there might be some spots where it's a little bit iffy on the continuity of it. But it's funny to think of whether it's actually supposed to happen that way. Now, I know there's no coincidence or coincidi. I think that's the word we're going with. Coincidi, and there's no coincidi in Star Wars, but there might just be some things that go together that weren't supposed to. Maybe they had no intention of Finn being Force sensitive. It was just their way of bringing, some excitement into the story. But we'll see what happens. And I have a puppy going crazy now. Boo boo. Delilah Duke. Nobody wants to hear you bark. Come on. They want to look at you though because you're pretty. And she stopped now. She heard a dog outside. But yeah, so we'll see what we have going on. What else we learned from this book? Because right now it's more of a history lesson, but we're going to be, and I think it's a history lesson for the next what's going to be the next few sessions that we have, because we like to talk a lot. It's more of us talking about pages than going through the entire book. So we'll see.
This is what we do in the Holocron house and in the back of the tank. We talk a lot. This is what we do.
If you're, this isn't a place you come for breaking news and you come for, whatever else. This is where you come to talk. So if anybody wants to come in here, and talk about the book with us, let us know. I'll send you the link.
Whoa, we got somebody new in the chat room. Wobbly Boots. Well, how do, friend?
Wobbly Boots, thanks for joining us.
They say the visual dictionary for The Rise of Skywalker is beautiful. I solidly agree with that.
A lot of these books are beautiful.
And
as time goes on, although it might be kind of in retrospect, we got time. We can go through all these books. Because I have them all. I don't know if Wobbly Boots, I'll let you know. I like to collect books, and I like to collect Black Series, and those are the only two things I collect. You stick around here, you'll know what I mean later on. But
Yeah, because it's very well known that Michael does not collect Funko Pops, as he would tell you.
all right, Nathan, and Rural Farm Boy, Wobbly Boots' name is Nathan, so I'm guessing since he's telling us that, he wants us to call him Nathan, so we can do that if that's what he likes.
Well, how do, Nathan? Glad you're here.
Mm-hmm.
And I got one little last thing at the bottom of page 19 before we turn over to 20 is the prevalence of the spies in Maz's castle means both doom and salvation. The First Order is tipped off about BB-8's presence. So too are the Resistance by an informant loyal to their cause. Poe Dameron leads a squadron of X-Wings to chase the First Order invaders off, though they are too late to prevent the destruction of Maz's castle. R2 beep, turn the page, if you take my meaning.
Yes, sir, but really quick, we just have the data file. Maz Kanata, we don't know where she's from. We don't know what species she is. She's independent in her affiliation. She's 1.24 meters tall, or 4 feet 1 inches. And as we just said, because I did the math really quick in my head, because I'm really smart, and I can add 1,007 and 1 together, she is 1,008 years old. And
over
boom.
1,000 years old. My youngest daughter loves these data files. What about Nathan?
I was going to let him know. So you can call me Michael, or you can call me TooMedToo, or you can call me the Condor. That's a little story that we've talked about before, but it can come up some other time, and we'll talk about a little bit more. Maybe we'll talk about it on the Boxer Tank. We're not going to waste time on here talking about it. But all right, so now we've flipped the page. We did the R2-D2 or whatever the hell kind of noise he makes for the beep, and we have Star Killer Base. We have some, and that's once again, the pictures in here are beautiful, and I feel bad because I haven't gone through the art of this book yet. I don't know. I don't even have. They don't. It's not even out yet. So
not yet.
I don't feel bad. All right, never mind then.
Next month.
But yeah, that's going to be nice when it comes out, because if they have these pictures on full page pictures, that's going to be pretty fucking awesome, dude. Like I'm not gonna, that's going to be pretty neat.
Agreed.
So yeah, because I'm just looking at, I'm in between. I got 2 bookcases. I got half a bookcase, well, full bookcases, but half my books are on that one, half my books are on that one, and I'm just looking at the different art of books that I have on them, and I really need to organize that shit. So maybe my stream, I tried to stream while I was away, but it didn't work very well. They were getting audio but no picture, so we'll have to deal with that sometime. But yeah, I'll probably have to do some take a little bit of time off. I'll do some podcast or book. You know what? I'm gonna listen to that book I have. And
which?
I don't know. I got 4 or 5. We talked about them last week, I think, or 2 weeks ago. I have 4 or 5 sitting there on Audible ready to go. A couple canon books and then Kenobi and whatever. But just take a day and go through some of the shorter ones and knock those out. So I got something to talk to you about and do my bookcase up, because it needs to be done. And I need somewhere to put the Funko Pops that I do not collect. So see, that's the only thing. I can't do it when my girlfriend's home, because then she's going to see the big gaping hole in my one bookcase, the 2 shelves that I clear out. But then they're going to get filled with Funko Pops that I do not collect. And she's going to be like, where the fuck did all this come from? And I'll be like, you didn't notice them? They've been piling up. Oh, which reminds me, I got to talk to our buddy Pete. Let him know I got a package he sent me.
Fletcher?
Yes, sir.
Oh boy, now you're kind of wrapped up in it with that Them Holochronicles boys. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
In a good way. In a good way.
Yeah, I was actually talking with well, we're gonna say that. Remind me to talk to you about. Oh, you weren't around last week, Rural Farm Boy. You had something to do.
Yeah.
Mondays our big thing. Hopefully we got a lot of talking to do with Project Luminous, and we have the Clone Wars just came out. There's some other news that's coming out. We have the Toy Fair news that just came out. I have a few things to open, and I think I know what I'm going to open for this one, since it's going to be kind of hopefully a big deal, is what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, this coming Monday is going to be a lot to talk about.
But I did you catch the replay on it? It's okay if you say you didn't. You don't need to.
No, I didn't, because lately at my work I can't go and give a listen. I can't play my playlist because
it's long. And it's
I'll
long.
find time for it. You know? I will find time for it for sure.
But I don't want to deal too much. I want to try and get into this book, but I got on a Kickstarter for a vintage collection book. And the Kickstarter's over.
Okay.
They're printing the books up, but because I already am part of the Kickstarter, I have room to add on a book or two. Not with all the bells and whistles that I'm going to be getting, but cheaper than what you're going to be able to buy it for when it comes out. So
and this is an older book?
No, it's brand new.
Oh, okay.
But it's about the vintage collection.
Oh, all right.
So
well, I can't wait to see what all this turns out to be.
Yeah, well, we'll find out, because I think that's going to be going on the Holocron house, and I'm going to be going through that. I'm not sure though, because this is it's a special book. There's only, I don't know how many thousands of them being printed up. That might just be on the Patreon feed. So, it doesn't cost much to get the Patreon. $1 costs to get on the Patreon feed, or $3 or whatever. I don't have any tiers. So, I shed tears if you don't get on there. But anyways, we have Star Killer Base.
We do.
That will make you shed some tears. The Empire's military technologists continue their research into apocalyptic energy weapons even after the regime had surrendered. After retreating into the unknown regions, Imperial survivors found fragments of experiments undertaken by the Empire that could have combined and refined into an unthinkable weapon. The tapping and storage of quintessential energy, the expulsion of amplification of that energy through hyperspace, the construction of the platform large enough. See, how the fuck could I say quintessential, but I can't say platform? Large enough to support such a weapon. These elements became Starkiller Base. It took decades to perfect, and many uncharted worlds in the unknown were cored and sacrificed in pursuit of this knowledge. The Starkiller fires only once, but its single blast wipes out the New Republic capital, undeniably demonstrating the First Order's power. And as we know, if we get on here, we talk about spoilers. If it's been out in the open officially, it is allowed to be talked about on here. And there's a chance that there might be spoilers that aren't out in the open that gets shared here too, because sometimes we find stuff out and forget that we're not supposed to tell anybody. So we know now that Ilium, which is in Fallen Order, which I'm playing through right now, which I'm doing my play, and I'm actually, you can probably tell if you watch the first couple sessions that I did, I'm fucking horrible, and now I'm becoming not as bad. We'll just put it that way. Anyone that wants to talk about how great I'm becoming in the chat, feel free. Make me feel a little better about myself so I don't cry. And we see this great picture right now of the First Order base inside the mountain, because the planet Ilium is now Starkiller Base, is what they're using. And you can see I don't know how many thousands of troops lined up, like we've talked about many times, and that old militaristic, especially when you were doing like the communists showing their
No,
presence.
That's more aimed from a Nazi point of view, not communist. That's
Well,
Nazi fascism right there.
okay, well, I'm not as old as you, so I wasn't around when the Nazis were in power, Mister
Neither
Rural
was
Farm
I.
Boy. So I just have to. I'm going now. I'm going now with when they have the North Korean parades and the
Mhm.
um
Also based on
the
that.
it's all along the same line. So okay, it goes back, and I'm sure if you go back to the Roman days, that's how it was too. They were all lined up in their legions, and 10 by 10, so you had 100 in each one, and all that nice stuff that we find out through the study of history.
Yep, you're pretty close.
So, okay, we go down to the next one. A fierce machine. Properly energized, kyber crystals create containment fields that hold and amplify power to incredible levels. The Empire controlled several kyber rich worlds, funneling their resources into the Tarkin Initiative's Death Star development. One unique world in the unknown regions, Ilum. Ilium. I'm not sure if we have an actual pronunciation, and we'll go
Ilum.
to
It
Ilum.
said
Okay.
Ilum. Yep.
Had a kyber crystalline core. Most of its more easily accessible deposits were scoured, but there were even bigger crystals buried deeper beneath the surface. The First Order continued its excavations and gradually transformed Ilum, a revered Jedi world since inequality
Antiquity.
antiquity into the instrument of unfathomable destruction. All remaining systems will bow to the First Order. That is a General Hughes quote. And we know from the Clone Wars and from Rebels that
Mhm.
they go to Ilum to find their kyber crystals because Padawan, when they go to get their kyber crystals,
Mhm.
they don't go find the kyber crystal. The kyber crystal calls out to them, and they go and match it up that way to them. So yeah, that's about it. So yeah, we know that prior to this, when the Jedi were still around, so prior to Order 66, they were going to Ilum, amongst some other places, but mostly Ilum, and going and claiming their kyber crystals that way.
So I'm taking a look at the live chat, and Wobbly Boots Nathan says, "Doesn't Starkiller Base have hyperspace travel capability?" And far as I can remember, because I'm a canon junkie like Jerry Cable, and you'd know Jerry from the Wombat cast. I'm a canon junkie
Um,
just like he is, and I do know that Starkiller can move itself, but I
yes.
don't believe that it has hyperspace capability. It can find its way around the galaxy far, far away, but I don't believe that it can find its way through hyperspace.
Well, see, this is one of those things that we could probably Google it right now or go to Wikipedia. But since it's not a major concern for my part, I understand that
No, it's
Nathan
not.
Nathan posed the question. Maybe we find out in this book in the next page or two. If
Yep.
not, we will. That was one of the things I will put down right now in my notes. And speaking of canon junkies, on Monday we might have some canon junkies on in the Bacta tank.
Oh, really?
That's what rumor has it.
Well, I'm not missing that. I'll be along for that.
There's a bunch of people that are supposed to possibly come talk. It's kind of hard
That's a
when
that's a good
I
thing.
trying to get people from the West Coast is hard because it's 5 o'clock
Yes,
there
it
when we
is.
start recording, so we'd have to do it later. And then a lot of people, it's just hard to get them to be able to have time for they have podcasts and everything themselves. It's hard for them on their off day, or they record on Monday, so they can't do it at the same time. So, we get some people here and there, but
or when we're later here in the East Coast, they're just finishing their workday, trying to get home, and it's feeling for our friends on the left coast. We want to include them, but they're just trying to get to where we already are. We already finished our workday, and they're just trying to get home and then carrying on. So understand that.
So yeah, I already have a few things. I got New York Toy Fair, Clone Wars, Luminous, and Star Killer. Is it Hyper? So we have a couple things to talk about already, and a couple of those might be really big, long conversations, or at least one of them is, hopefully. If they don't just say, if they don't just say it's going to be a movie and a couple books and whatever, and there you go, there's your information to hold you over till Celebration. But we'll see. Decapitation Strike. We have a picture of the afterglow, I guess, or the actual weapon itself firing.
As it looks, yes.
You want to go with that one, Rural Farm Boy?
Yes. Let's go with that. Let's see. Yeah, let me take this one.
Okay.
The solar vac array in the Star Killer uses gravitational lens of a nearby star to collect quintessence energy, storing and amplifying within a hyperspatial field generated by the kybercrystalline core. The weapons array of the Star Killer punches a hole through hyperspace, sending a torrent of energy to a target light years away. Upon emerging in real space, the energy follows time-space curvature into a planetary gravity's well. Forking at it's forking. That's the word. I'm looking at it. At extreme velocities to destroy every planet in a star's orbit. This is the fate of the worlds of the Hodgson system. All 5 of them. And all 5 of them ain't written here. Yeah, there was 5. We saw five planets in the Hodgson system just get done in. And then, there's that photograph of Finn pointing his blaster at Captain Phasma's helmet. Having infiltrated Star Killer, Finn holds Captain Phasma at gunpoint, ordering her to deactivate the weapon's protective shields. Phasma complies, far more interested in her own survival than the loyalty of the First Order. And we was told that by way of a comic, how she survived being thrown into that. What did Han say? You have a trash compactor.
Compactor.
Yeah, she was put in there, and then in that there comic, we find out how she got out of it. Then below that is Chewbacca and Han Solo place Pyron. Oh, this is a new one. Denton explosives? Okay. Throughout the vital areas of Starkiller's critical machinery, from a lofty vantage point, Chewbacca watches helplessly as Han confronts his son. It says Kylo Ren, but Kylo Ren's not Han Solo's son. Ben Solo is.
Well, we'll save that note for a debate day. But yeah, well, it's just they're one and the same. They are, but they're not. So, we can. That's
same can be said, or maybe or not for Anakin versus Darth Vader. But yeah, that's a talk for a different time.
Well, we need to keep notes for all of our talks at different time things.
That's a lot of notes, Michael. That's a lot of notes.
Yes.
And the last thing on page 20 is a fact file. And it says, although the Star Killer is several times larger than the Death Star, and I want to say they compared that to the first Death Star, because Death Star 2 was 1.5 times bigger than DS1. It's considered smaller than a dwarf planet in astronomical scales. Its concentration of kyber gives Ilum unique and explorable characteristics for a planet of its tiny size. So Ilum weren't really that big as a
Oh,
planet.
why didn't you guys tell me I had this on here?
What's that?
I'm taking up all the. Oh, I guess I wasn't doing anything, was it? I thought I was blocking off so they couldn't see anything, but I'll put it back on there. I don't think it does anything for the picture. All right, never mind. Carry on. I'm sorry.
No, that there finishes off page 20, and we carry on page 21. Do you want to go? Let's go with the timeline. And we're still before Star Killer incident. And it starts with 4,000 years before Star Killer incident. Ancient Sith accounts describe kyber weaponry developed by Darth Tanis of Malachor. Then 56 years before Star Killer incident, at the start of Clone Wars, Geonosians conspired to develop the planet-destroying weapon for the Separatists. Oh, now we're in Attack of the Clones territory. Then 55 years before Star Killer incident, the Republic captures Geonosian Archduke Poggle the Lesser and begins secret exploration into the superweapon development. Still in Attack of the Clones territory. 53 years before Star Killer incident, the Death Star program begins under direction of Orson Krennic. Now we're getting into what was the story that came right before Rogue One?
Catalyst.
Yes. Now we're right there. Then we're still in that same time frame, 53 years before Star Killer incident. The Empire occupies Ilum, begins excavation program. I want to go and say that this is the same time in Catalyst where Jyn Erso's mom is also traveling around the galaxy and exploring different planets. And at the same time is when the Empire's stripping some of those same planets of everything that they got, which leads to, friends, if you haven't listened to Catalyst, give that story a listen because that ties into this. So then we skip to 47 years before Star Killer incident. Scientist Galen Erso joins the Death Star program. And we know he does because now we're in Rogue One story when Orson Krennic has Lyra Erso killed and Jyn hides herself and we see Galen taken by Orson Krennic. Then we skip ahead, about a dozen more years, 34 years before Star Killer incident. Death Star devastates Jedha and Scarif, destroys Alderaan. The rebels destroy the Death Star. Now we're in the original trilogy timeline. Then we skip ahead 4 more years, 30 years before Star Killer incident. The second Death Star is destroyed at the Battle of Endor. There so ends the original trilogy stories. 30 to 0 years before Star Killer incident. The Star Killer weapon development progresses in the unknown regions because Ilum skirts them unknown regions and also becomes their base, as we said previous. 0 years before Starkiller incident, Resistance spies find clues in Sector Epsilon 51-3 that hint at Starkiller's existence. I want to say that's tied into the Star Wars Resistance stories. If you've been following Resistance, we know that story's done told, but what I'm thinking was from season 1 when we see those 3 different planetoids that were hollowed out.
Yep.
When Kaz and Poe find that, this is right there. And we got
so that's when
1, 2, 3 more. When we got what, Mike?
No, I was just agreeing with you. That's when I was trying to think. That's when they go and they're trying to track. That's when they still got. I call him Red Baron. I don't know. You know how I am with names. I come up with my own names for people. The red. Yeah, the Red Baron. Yeah, the Red Baron. I mean, that's who it's kind of. I think. Listen, the Red Baron, Major Von Reg. You know, I think it's kind of probably based upon him, Baron Von Reg. But so that's why I come up there. That's why I come up with these names. Just like there's a girl at work, okay, and some she had her makeup she had on was a little bit not conventional, and somebody said last week, "Oh, do you have that makeup on for Mardi Gras?" And and she said no. So I started calling her Lorraine. She got a nickname. She hadn't had a nickname for me before. And I started calling her Lorraine. And they can't figure out why the fuck I call her Lorraine. Well, all right, now this is how nicknames happen. All right. And in my mind anyways. So they're calling her Mardi Gras. And the first thing I think of when they say Mardi Gras, after like Mardi Gras, like the Mardi Gras party, I think of Marty McFly. And I'm like, because I'm gonna start calling her I'm gonna start calling her Marty. And then I decide, well, I can't really call her Marty. I mean, I can call her whatever the fuck I want because that's just how I am. And I was like, okay, well, let's not call her Marty. What can I call her with Marty? And I'm thinking about Back to the Future. I was like, Lorraine, his mom. So now her name's Lorraine, and she has no idea how she got the nickname Lorraine, and that's just her name now. And it makes perfect sense. But I have to sit there and explain it to you. And that's what, you're never going to find out. It's like the one girl from work, her nickname, I call her Red, and everyone thinks it's because she dyed her hair red. It's not. She reminds me of Red Fraggle from Fraggle Rock. It just, now her hair is green. I don't call her green. I call her Red. But that's, because she's Red Fraggle. But, all right. Anyways, nice. I'm gonna try and keep off these tangents. And Charles.
I love those tangents. And yes, Charles, may the force be with you.
I don't know if he's gone or not. Usually when I tell people I'm going to leave a chat, I usually do it, a few minutes beforehand. So if anybody does want to say goodbye, which, not that I'm waiting for anyone to say goodbye, because sometimes you don't look at the chat. I don't even know when he could have typed that 10 minutes ago. I don't know. So just, I'm not very good at the chat keeping up. I can't talk and watch the chat at the same time. So even though you were the one talking at the point, don't bring that up.
I'm feeling you, especially when I got 2 more left in the timeline. Now, also, after I said Resistance spies find clues to Sector Epsilon 51-3 that Starkiller's existence, from Star Wars Resistance. Also, 0 before Starkiller incident, Starkiller fires. And that's when it's bye-bye Plasmy system. Then also the last one is 0 after Starkiller incident. Starkiller is destroyed. The end of the Starkiller. With Starkiller shields deactivated and the planet's explosives tearing a hole in the Oscillator's armor, the weapon is left vulnerable to Resistance starfighter attack. The Oscillator's destruction causes a cascading failure in the planet's energy storing systems. Accumulated stellar mass begins seeping out of its hyperspatial pocket. On the planet's crumbling surface, Kylo Ren crosses lightsabers blades with Rey and Finn. All right, that's near the end of Force Awakens. The micro-hyperspatial singularity that now burns at the Starkiller's grave site has been unofficially named Solo. So when Starkiller goes boom, it turns into a star. And I'm going to say the Resistance names it after Han, his last name, Solo.
That could be.
There's a star in the galaxy now named Solo.
And I mean, there's a very good possibility. The reason is because it's named after Han. We will have to see if we can find any information about that. And
I believe there's only 2 more photographs in the upper center and upper right hand corner.
All right, well, I'll finish those off. We have the picture from TFA. We have Finn with the lightsaber fighting Kylo Ren, and this was another talking point of how can Finn with no training do so well against Kylo Ren. Well, he does have training. He trained to be a stormtrooper, and he was one of the elite stormtroopers. There's still much stories to be told on, why does Kylo know who he is, and how does Phasma know which trooper it was, and was he one of the up and coming ones and just kind of snapped out of it, and the Force pulled him out, or what are those stories they're going to tell us? Nobody knows.
No, somebody knows. Every time I hear somebody say nobody knows, I'm going to say there's somebody that knows. And concerning this, I'm going to go point you back to Before the Awakening, that storybook on the journey to the Force Awakens. Before the Awakening. Read or listen to, find the Audible for that story of Before the Awakening for Finn's story, because he's got much. You'll see. I don't want to go and spoil it if you're not aware of, because I've got to listen to that story a couple times. Finn uses a sword, a straight up broad sword, not a lightsaber, in combat. Is how he's familiar with melee weapons, and he's really good at it.
And it spoke earlier that he was using melee weapons.
Yes.
And yeah, I just want to let you know, Earl Farm Boy, we have been signed up by Disney Plus just now. The contracts, the ink's drying on them as we speak, for a new buddy cop series on Disney Plus. It's called The Farm Boy and the Condor.
Yes. I'll keep an lookout for my email for what all that's going to be. Okay. Then we got one more photograph in the upper right-hand corner.
Poe Dameron soars his X-Wing through a meltwater runoff trench.
Yes.
It took me a second to figure out what they were talking about, but yeah, that's on Ilum. So, okay. Leading to the breach of the oscillator's wall. He squeezes past the Starkiller's armor, strafing the oscillator's vulnerable interior. The damage to the superweapon proves fatal. And then we see a picture of the Starkiller base structure with the thermal oscillator. I'm going backwards now. I'm going from right to left. The thermal oscillator. And we have the containment field regulators controlled by thermal oscillators. Finn tries his best to hold off Kylo. Oh, I already read that one. Never mind. That was the picture. And unique crystal substructures, as I believe they called it the Kyber crystalline earlier. And the dark energy cannon is the dark energy surrounded by a halo of stellar fire bursts from the heart of Starkiller. And that is it for Starkiller Base. Well, not it for it, but the last time we're going to see this picture, maybe forever. Who knows? Somebody knows. Just
Somebody always knows. Charlie Skywalker's in the chat room. Charlie, buddy.
All right, the next one we're brought up to the Resistance Retreat.
Here we go. You're me.
I'll go for a little while.
Okay.
The victory over Starkiller Base is short-lived, since the Resistance headquarters on Dakar has been compromised and a hasty evacuation is in order. The meager Resistance fleet of 4 capital ships, called during the Starkiller crisis, arrives to find the Starkiller already vanquished and immediately begins loading troops and supplies for the hurried exodus. First Order reinforcements drop out of hyperspace in the form of Star Destroyers, escorting a massive siege dreadnought, the Fulminatrix.
Fulminatrix.
That's what I said. I just have a different accent than you. As the warship powers up its planet-scorching weaponry, Commander Poe Dameron flies a foolhardily solo mission to distract the First Order, buy time for the evacuation effort, and initiate a costly counterattack. That is where we get the first your mama joke in Star Wars.
We do.
And
of the many jokes in Star Wars, I so love this one.
And well, that's where some people have issues with it. But you have to remember,
they do.
It's for fucking 12-year-olds, dude. If you're 12 years old, a your mama joke is great. We're like, we can't believe a your mama joke because it's such lowbrow humor or whatever. And yeah, like that's the way it should be. But you throw that in Blazing Saddles, which we all love too, and that's great. Oh, but it's not Star Wars. Fuck you. It's a joke, dude. Get over yourself. Anyways,
every time I watch a Star Wars story, I'm a 53-year-old. This year I'll be 54. I'm a 53-year-old, 12-year-old. Tell me a Star Wars story because I'm going to watch it like I'm 12 years old. Every time. Do it like that.
And then we have a picture of a TIE fighter and one of the Resistance bombers, or, basically that's what the picture is. TIE fighters swarm the bombers of Crimson and Cobalt squadrons with well-placed hits, detonate entire bomb magazines in a fiery wave of destruction.
Yes,
Then we have the picture of General Leia Organa and Commander at this time, Commander Poe Dameron, and this is after what happens. Well, I don't know how detailed it gets into here, but General Organa reprimands Poe for his costly and ill-thought-out tactics. While the fleet is able to outrun the First Order and claim victory over the Dreadnought, many pilots die and irreplaceable ships are destroyed in the effort. So, yeah, that pretty much sums up that little part right there. We have a file.
That's the truth.
And then we go on. That is brought up, though, in many points, such as in the Rise of the Resistance book, about how he changed, and he said, he basically said, listen, I fucked up. There's no reason for you guys to listen to me and to follow me, except for the fact that, he doesn't come out and say, I'm the best there is, I'm the best choice, and I know I made a mistake, so, forgive me, no one here is perfect. And I forget who steps up in that book and says, listen, nobody's perfect, give him a shot. Who was that, Anthony, that says that in that book, pretty much?
Give me that quote one more time.
Well, Poe was saying how he knows he fucked up, and with the mission and the whole Holdo thing, and people there knew Haldo and blamed him for her death, even though she was the one that chose to do the Haldo maneuver. And he was like, just listen, forgive me. I know I messed up, but I'm part of the group and I should be here doing it. And someone, when they were getting mad at him, someone said, "Hey, listen, you guys, nobody here is perfect. Give him another shot or give him a chance." I don't remember who that was. Now I'm gonna have to go look that up.
This is pretty recently. This is from
And
Rise of Skywalker. It's
Rise
that
of
one fellow that said that they should use the Holdo maneuver.
no, and this is in the book. Resistance Rising or whatever it is.
Okay, yeah, Resistance Rising. You're right.
He's and and meeting all of them, and they all know who he is, and they all know that he committed mutiny and what he did to Haldo. And I'll have to look it up in the book and see, because I can't think of now who it was, but somebody in that story says give him another shot. Nobody here is perfect.
I know what you're talking. I know what you're speaking
was it Leia?
Oh,
It was Leia.
yes, it was. It surely was.
Okay.
When Finn speaks his piece, and then about his shortcomings, and Leia says, "Well, everybody, listen. I'm the daughter of Darth Vader. What all you got to say something about that?" And she shut that down right then and there after that. And that pretty much cleared Poe of his shortcomings, because Leia felt she had her own shortcomings of what she said. And that right there made everything equal. Yeah, that's what that was right there. Wow, I missed that. So thank you for catching me up on that.
So then we have a fact file. Finn's role in destroying the Star Killer, was incidental to his true loyalty. He infiltrated the facility in hopes of rescuing Rey. Now seeking to keep Rey away from a doomed fleet, Finn attempts to escape, but is caught by Rose Tico. That's where she zaps. That's where she meets him and she's like falls in love with him right away, and you can tell. And then she has to zap his ass because he's trying to.
Duty. She's doing her duty. She's doing what needs to be done. She's helping at the beginning of setting him straight. He learns that out later, as we see. But yeah.
And then we go back. We go back up to the top of the page on the right-hand side. We have a picture of it looks like a nice little explosion there, and the last load lifter to leave Dakar, commanded by Lieutenant Cadel Connex, who is played by Billy Lord, who is Princess Leia, aka Carrie Fisher's daughter, and who played Carrie Fisher, or played Princess Leia in The Rise of Skywalker, when they did some of those shots where they put her face onto whatever technology they use or whatever it is. And the flight officer, Houtrian Jones, don't know who that is, narrowly outrun the blossoming fireball of an orbital strike. The fulminatrix siege cannons obliterate the jungle landscape, leaving no trace of the resistance base. The hurried retreat leaves behind vital fuel stores, which is kind of the whole, well, not point of the story, but what is the major problem in the story.
No, that part was told in Cobalt's part.
No, I know, but if they would have had the fuel stores, they wouldn't have had to worry about outrunning the First Order. Then we have a picture of a MG-100 Star Fortress heavy bomber. It's armored flight deck in view. They're showing a picture of the front of it. Deflector shield generator, rear gunner turnball, shipboard artificial gravity, starts bomb descent. Oh shit, bombs can fall in space because, as we were already told in the Rise of Skywalker, not the Last Jedi visual dictionary, gravity makes them fall. And is it the gravity? No, it's the gravity inside the ship that forces them down, dude.
Gravity and magnetic. The bombs have magnetic pulse. Yeah,
Magnetic,
and that
pulse
draws,
propulsion.
that
Yep.
draws them toward their target. That's how that happens. There's no science in Star Wars because it's a fantasy. Don't put science in fantasy.
Then we have Vice Admiral Haldo. After Leia is severely injured in a First Order attack, command falls to Vice Admiral Emmeline Haldo of the cruiser Nika, whose unconventional style and secretive nature draw both suspicion and distrust. And she's got
done that, but
they're talking about her headband and her earrings in here, because that's what's probably important for us to know about her. But I shouldn't say that. That might be and the book Leia, Princess of Alderaan, we first meet. I think that's when we first meet General Haldo, unless it's in a comic book, which is a good possibility.
You're right.
And we find out that they were possibly lesbian teenage lovers. They just don't say it in the book, but that's
no, I think it's more in the way of Emmeline Miss Emmeline's got a really open mind, and she's trying to kind of go and convey a little bit of that to Leia, to try and be a little bit open-minded too, because what Emmeline tried, she's thinking maybe Leia might like, but what we learn a little bit later, not in Leia's best taste, but love Emmeline Holdo nonetheless for what she taught us to do right.
Then we have a data file on the next page going up. Manufacturer, the Mon Calamari Shipyard Corellian Engineering Corp. It is a model MC-85 Star Cruiser. The affiliation is the Resistance. It is 461.6 meters tall, or 1,514 feet. And the length is 3,438.4 meters, or 11,281 feet. So that's about
that's a lot. That's pretty damn big.
Well, yeah, it's a what is that? Cut that in half, so that's 750 stories tall.
Pretty much. Yep.
If it was a building, it'd have 750 floors. Probably taller than anything we have around here. That's like, almost getting to Mount. Well, that's where it's a little bit deceiving, where you talk about like the mountains and like Mount Everest and K2.
That's probably going to be like 2.5 times, almost 3 times of the Empire State Building.
No, I understand. No, what I was saying is when they talk about above sea level, it can be 15,000 feet above sea level. Anyways, it doesn't matter. I'm just talking on my ass right now.
No, but check out the skeleton crew.
1,139 people for a skeleton crew.
Yeah, that's a skeleton. That's not a full crew for that ship. That's a pretty damn big ship, and that's just a skeleton crew.
That's just what it needs to run.
Yeah, barely. And then you got the weapons: 18 heavy turbo lasers, 18 heavy ion cannons, 12 point defense lasers, point defensor laser turrets, 6 proton torpedo launchers. This is the Radis. This is Leia's command ship.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, the Radis is the largest ship fielded by the Resistance. The Radis is retired a New Republic cruiser, and its interior systems were extensively overhauled with automated systems, replacing its ordinary high crew requirements. A trusted Mon Calamari design, the Radis has an advanced defector shield envelope that can extend far from its hull. So that's how we know it keeps taking hit after hit after hit from the Supremacy, which is Shipping Leader Snoke's Mega Star Destroyer. This is why we see the Radis keep taking hits and keeps carrying on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then we go to Fleet Pursued. Resistance leadership is stunned to discover the First Order can track their fleet through hyperspace. Supposedly an impossible feat without an implanted tracking device. As we was previously told in other stories, no, this happens in a different way. Rather than burn through its fuel with a useless jump, the Resistance fleet engages in its sublight drives at an ever-escalating rate, attempting to outstay the First Order weapons range. Aboard the Supremacy, General Hux monitors the fuel supply for the doomed Resistance fleet. Yeah, Hux thinks he's still got a handle on destroying the Radis, but still doesn't come to bear. Unaware of Vice Admiral Holdo's endgame, a plan she has kept secret for operational security reasons, Poe stages a mutiny to wrest command from her. The revolt is put down by a recovered Leia Organa. Yeah, this is where we see that blast door get blasted open, and Leia comes in, and what she do? She puts Poe down with that blue circular stun bolt. Puts him up against the wall. Let's see. We're gonna go.
She set her phaser to stun, Captain Kirk.
She surely did. Oh,
have you caught up? Have you caught up on Picard yet?
Not just yet. And I also gotta go today. The new season 7 Clone Wars.
Yeah,
I haven't given a watch to that yet. I'm gonna do that when this stream's done.
I watched that this morning.
Oh, did you? Good.
I try to stay up for it, and some days I'm up until 5 or 6 in the morning just because I can't fall asleep. But last night I was laying there and I was like, I'm gonna watch it. My girlfriend's like, you're gonna be asleep in 30 seconds. I was like, nope, and that's the last thing I remember. And that was at about 2:30, 2:45. So once again, she's always right. Thank God she doesn't ever listen to shit, so she'll never hear me say that.
There's a live stream chat coming up on Stream and Star Wars in 2 hours, and they're going to be talking about that same story, that first episode of season 7.
Yep.
So after we're done here, I got to go find it and watch it because I want to get in that live stream chat and talk about this new first episode of the next 12 of Clone Wars and see what we're talking about. There's a lot new Star Wars to talk about yet.
There is. And we have a picture then of Admiral Holdo, looking, it looks like she's trying to figure out some coordinates and whatnot. And let's see what it says. When the First Order starts targeting the Resistance escape craft, Holdo sacrifices herself to protect their passage to Crate. the sole person aboard the Radis. She prepares an unsurvivable hyperspace jump. And then we have the escape to Crate. We see the picture of the orbital. Is that the orbital load lifter that they're in? The escape ships. The bottom corner. It shows the picture of Leia, Poe, and Anthony Daniels. And
okay, gotcha.
I'm just trying to see if they're showing now. If that are they in the? They're in the Mount Calamari there, right? In that picture, they're just showing the orbital.
You're in the
they're just
very bottom right corner. Escape the Crate.
Yeah, they're just showing the U-55 orbital load lifter because they talked about it on the page before, I believe. But
yes, that's those unshielded shuttles. Yeah.
Escape to Crate. The initial lightspeed jump from Dakar placed the Resistance fleet within sublight range of Crate, an unlisted mineral world that once served as an Alliance base. This is the ultimate refuge for the Resistance survivors who have been whittled down to a few lift loaders worth of personnel after the harried pursuit by the First Order's flagship. These few ships make planefall, and the Resistance prepares for a last stand. Okay, yeah, so I was right. That was the. Why am I second guessing myself? That's what they used to get to Crate.
No, you're on point. You see Leia in that photograph, and Finn in the middle, and 3PO, and that's where Leia says she's running, meaning I'm gonna hold her, and Poe realizes, no, she ain't. We see a little bit, only moments later, that she weren't running. What she did was she turned the Radis around and she made that hyperspace jump, which split the Supremacy in 1 of 2/3 with that hyperspace jump, and but what was left of the Resistance that time, she gave her life for her friends and her comrades, and she pretty much, as we know, done the Supremacy in, because we don't see it again.
Nope.
No, we don't. And
but I
she
think
gave the Resistance life.
I think this might be a good page or a good spot to stop right here. I'd like to keep. I'd love to keep going, but when you turn the page, you find out that we're going to The Last Jedi.
Yep.
And a little bit more. Well, we're already in The Last Jedi, but we're going to Act 2. And I think it would be a great spot because then we just have to talk about Act 2 and Kylo Ren and Snoke and the Battle of Crate. And that does it in for Chapter 1. So I think this would be a great place to stop, and that's what we can be talking about in Session 4.
Very good place to stop. Yeah, because as Star Wars stories do, they always keep us going on and on and on. And at some point, we just kind of stop and set it down for a little bit, and then come back to it. And this is a good point to do just that.
And the Bacta tank happens every Monday, pretty much. Even if I'm on vacation for my birthday, I find a way to do it. But we'll see when the next one of this is. Who knows? Whenever Anthony and I can get together, or it could be tomorrow, it could be Sunday. I'm going back to nights for a couple weeks, so the only time I'm really going to have free to do it is either before the Bacta tank Monday. So we'd have to do it as soon as Anthony gets out of work. As soon as he gets out of work, do a quick one for an hour or two before Rebel Scum starts up. Then do Rebel Scum and then have the Bacta tank, or we could fit in a Saturday morning or a Sunday or whatever it is. So hopefully we'll be able to get in at least one a week coming on, because that's still going to take a long time. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but hopefully we get this book done before Celebration.
Yeah, we're only on page 19 of a nearly 200-page book. Yeah, there's a lot to be talked about yet.
And we haven't even gotten to the new stuff. This is all old stuff. This is all stuff we already know, or maybe a detail or two we're not too sure about. But we still have to come. I mean, I'm just going to flip really quick and see what do I come up with. Sith Troopers and the final battle. Jannah.
Pisana, and where else we got yet to go?
But these are all just
there's so much yet. We ain't even set on. There's a lot of places we ain't set. We ain't even talked about Exegol yet.
We haven't talked about. We have Kajimi. You go to Kajimi. They have. I've just flipped to Kajimi on page 134, and you just have a page full of weapons, and then pages full of people we don't even know because they're side characters that they just show really quick, and they got sections in the book, and yeah. So
we spoke a little bit just a little while ago about Agent Class. We haven't talked about that. And just like you said, Kijimi, we ain't talked about that. We ain't talked about Pisana. We haven't talked about Exegol. There's so much in this story yet to talk about. There's a lot.
Yes, sir.
All right, so we'll see where we pick up next. I'm open for this coming weekend, and we'll see what happens. And keep a lookout for that hashtag live chat crew. Pass it along. Pick up some friends. Ask them to come jump in that chat room. Pick up some new friends. Bring them in there. Let's talk some Star Wars.
Well, we made
this book.
We made a new friend today, Nathan. And
yes, we did.
I don't know. We made a new friend today, Nathan. And I haven't checked. We may have he may have subscribed. He may not have. Hopefully he did, and he'll know, ring that bell, and we'll know the next time. He'll know the next time, and he'll be able to jump in here or one of the future times. But I'll talk to Anthony and see if we can try and figure out some time to maybe do it this weekend. I also got to get some Fallen Order in. It all depends on my girl. I really don't have any say in this. If my girlfriend comes home, she's the boss. We all know that. So,
I've been where you was, Michael. I understand.
So if it's a good thing. I like spending time with her. I wish she liked Star Wars and we could talk about it together. But she could just care less about Star Wars. She'd rather watch some reality TV than Star Wars. So I'd rather talk about Star Wars and watch reality TV. But pardon me, I just belched some of my wonderful cake I bought myself from the bakery around the corner from me. So anyways,
this is what we do in the Holocron house, and this is what we do in the back of the tank. This is us. This is what we do.
Yeah, except this is a lot more formal than the Box Tank. So this is actually, we have something to talk about. Or no, we know what we're going to talk about. But all right, let's see. I don't know what I just did there, so cancel that. All right, so I guess that's going to be it for today. Thank you, everyone, for stopping by. This was session 3. We did page 18 through 23. Hopefully, session 4, whenever that is, sometime this weekend, we can get through 24 to, I think it's 30, and that will bring us up to, they call it chapter 2, I believe, in the book, which is whatever it is. I don't know.
Sounds right.
So we will see. And yeah, don't forget, Monday should be it should be a pretty good Bacta tank. So
it should.
Come get tanked.
Oh, I like that. That's great.
Yeah.
we got one more live chat for the evening. A little bit later on, only a couple of hours away, and that's on Streaming Star Wars with Pete Flutzer and David Amalotti, also known as, how I said, Streaming Star Wars. They're talking Clone Wars, Season 7, Episode 1. I'm going to go watch that right now, and I hope to see Yuns, Michael, and friends in the chat room in that live chat. Let's talk some more Star Wars. Let's talk Clone Wars, Season 7, Episode 1. I'm going to go and watch it right now. Let's meet up in that chat room.
All right. Anthony, don't run away yet.
No, sir. Right here.
You stick around. All right. So, yeah, I already said goodbye, I think, to everybody. You know, yeah, TooMedToo's Star Wars Network. There's a bunch of stuff going on. We got the Box Tank every Monday. Whenever we can fit in a Holocron house, we do. Whenever we can fit in a Coruscant Coach's Corner, we do. Whenever we can fit in a Collecting with Kylo, we do. You know, I don't really think I can do much more because I don't have any more time.
That's a lot right there. That's a lot right there.
So, yeah, and then
well, thank you, friends, for coming along, and friends that are still here. And we're skipping out. May the force be with you. Look for you next time.
Okay, everyone. Thanks for stopping by. And yeah, that's about it. So I said good day. May the force be with you.